Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Jake. This is Press to Play Rewind for the world of film this week, and obviously, with everything that happened with DC Fandome, we have got a lot to talk about. I am happy to welcome Mr. Forrest back today. Forrest, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to chat with you about all of this.
Yeah, there is a lot to talk about. And thanks for having me on because I need to vent to somebody.
Absolutely. No, like I said, we've got so much to talk about, so I'm going to try to just jump right into it and speed through some of this stuff. So obviously, DC Fandom happened this weekend. First of all, I got to say, I think it was a fantastic event. Absolutely surpassed my expectations for sure. I thought it was going to be cool, but definitely not this cool. So the first thing we got, the first panel that happened was for Wonder Woman 84. Now, I should preface this with saying I didn't watch any of the panels. You will have seen, if you've watched them all, I have a playlist and everything of all of my reactions to all this DC Fandom stuff. There was a lot to talk about, but we got the Wonder Woman 84 trailer, so I'm going to let Forrest talk about this in a little bit because I want to hear his thoughts because my thoughts are kind of already out there. But the trailer looks great. Obviously this movie would have been out by now, which sucks, but I'm very much looking forward to it now, more than I was before. I still don't get like really what the story is going to be, but everything else is making me want to watch it. Like, I don't need to know exactly what the story is. I have a basic understanding, but not a lot. But the action looks incredible this time around. The action was fairly good in the first one, but there was certain things like the Ares fight at the end just kind of left me hanging, and there's just the overall action. It wasn't quite there because I want to see her go toe-to-toe with somebody who can go toe-to-toe with her. Which brings me to Cheetah, because we finally got our Cheetah design. I think she looks pretty good. A little bit weird. I'm not super sure how I feel about it yet, but overall I think it's good. She's really covered in hair, which I guess I didn't know what I was expecting, but not super sure how I'm feeling about that, but overall, I think that looks good. The action looks good. Swinging on the lightning, we got that shot again. Looks awesome. That shot of her, I don't even know what she latched onto, but she was zooming through the clouds. That looked awesome. I am very excited about this. You've seen my reaction. Forrest, let's hear from you. What did you think about the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer?
I loved it. I'm all for the 80s aesthetic, as you can see. It's one of my favorite things. So making a Wonder Woman movie to follow up with the first movie, which is great. Loved it. Again, yeah, the final fight was kind of like, it was all right, but the rest of the movie for like an origin story and everything was super good. It was one of the stronger DC films up to that point. So this new trailer looks good. I like that it's showing kind of like her when she is younger and then her now, and then trying to catch Steve up to speed because he's back. And then the gold suit looks amazing. And then you get to Cheetah, and she's, it's what, a Kristen Wiig. She's getting more and more into it, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling it. And then she shows up as a character from the movie's Cats, which you're like, oh, okay. Kind of look like that to me. They're relying on the CG for that, which is, it's okay. It's what we expect with some of these movies, but they went really heavy with it. So, maybe it'll look okay. We'll see. The lightning riding on that, I didn't know she could do that, but I guess that's what we're doing now.
I didn't either, but I love it.
Yeah. And then whatever she's holding on to when she's flying through, I think it's the invisible jet. It has to be, because otherwise
that's what I thought too.
Yeah. So, which of course you can't see it because it's invisible, but and it shows that, like, I think Steve is helping her, like, fly it in the beginning.
Yeah, he goes to pilot something, and he says, she says, I forgot to tell you about radar. And it's like, can they not see him? Is it invisible?
That's funny. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't know what radar really is. I guess it wasn't as big of a thing. So yeah, all in all, it was a pretty good trailer. I enjoyed it, and we should have already seen this movie, but here we are.
Yep, so I'm very much looking forward to it. It's looking like it's going to come out in October now, as long as everything doesn't get too crazy. So I'm going to be there probably. I'm really looking forward to it. That was Wonder Woman 84. I've heard the panel was kind of just whatever, but we're going to focus on the trailers. So this is one that didn't have a trailer, but it dropped a little bit of interesting stuff. The next one that came up was for The Flash. Now, last week we talked about The Flash and, what might they show, what might not they show. Are they going to address the Ezra Miller situation? Just take that elephant and stick it in the room and address it for what it is? No, definitely didn't happen. Totally trying to ignore it. Whatever. We'll get over it. Overall, not a lot to talk about, but they did really, really show off that they're going way in on multiverse stuff, which I think is really, really cool. It could go really, really well, or it could go really, really poorly, depending on how they handle it. But it looks right now like it's going to be really cool, really fun. You know, they gave Flash a new suit. They did reveal an image that I'll put on screen now, too. But it's a concept art image of the new suit, along with someone else we're going to talk about in just a second. But let's talk about the new suit. I never liked his Justice League suit. I don't think it's great. I don't get what all the wires and stuff all around him are for. Just not my jam. So I do think this suit is better. Nothing crazy. Definitely not my favorite Flash suit I've ever seen. But, you know, it looks like it's got lights all over it and stuff. It could look cool on screen. We'll see. It sounds like it's developed, like the suit was created by Batman. And when they said that, they showed the image of the suit along with Michael Keaton's Batman. I remember a couple weeks ago, you'll remember, Forrest, we were talking about this rumor that Michael Keaton could be in talks to join the Flash movie. What does that mean? Is it going to happen? This pretty much confirms it. They didn't say it was, but that was the Michael Keaton Batman suit in that picture. Yeah. They wouldn't have done that without like knowing that we were all going to assume that is the case. So we're getting a new suit, we're getting multiverse, we're getting Michael Keaton back as Batman, and then on top of that, we're getting Ben Affleck returning as Batman in The Flash as well, which is something I definitely didn't expect. I thought Ben Affleck tapped out of this universe and said, deuces, I'm out, never coming back. So I think that is really, really exciting. We're getting two Batmen, we're getting a new Flash suit, we're getting all sorts of multiverse stuff. Forrest, what do you think about The Flash?
Image was cool. I think it's really sweet that they're bringing back Michael Keaton because he's kind of, it wasn't like the first because Adam West did a really good Batman, but Michael Keaton's Batman was amazing. Those were, that movie was great. So it's super cool that they're going with the multiverse thing. At Batman, we've got Ben Affleck Batman, and then we'll talk about this in a bit, but the Batman, Michael Reeves, the Batman. I haven't watched the Flash movie. I haven't really been keeping up with the Flash in general. But I think it's interesting that they're exploring the multiverse and where that can go and how Michael Keaton's Batman ties into it, what they might do with that going forward. So, not a lot to digest with that one image, but it could also mean the world if we're bringing back Michael Keaton to play Batman. Oh, also, he's going to meet up with his other Batman in the movie, probably. So, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's wild. And I think there's so many different directions they could go with this. And while I didn't love Ezra Miller in Justice League, that might change as well. So, those are kind of our thoughts on Flash. Let us know what you thought about The Flash in the comments below. And I forgot to tell you to let us know what you thought about the Wonder Woman trailer in the comments below as well. Now, we've got to talk about the one panel I sat through, and this is the movie that we've talked about the most on the show for us, The Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this kind of ad nauseum leading up to this. We really, really overanalyzed the logo for it and everything, talking about, and you nailed it. You said it looks like a 70s style logo, and they are describing this movie as like a 70s war film and everything.
Cool.
But I should say, this is the only panel I sat all the way through. It was the one I made. Did you? Good.
Yeah.
So this is the one I made time for. I made a little bit too much time for it. Most of the panel was kind of nonsense. It was just them playing a game. So in my reaction video, I did fast forward it because it was 20 minutes of nothing, a couple minutes of cool stuff. But we got two big things here. One is we got our casting announcements. Obviously, we had the cast, but now we know what characters are going to be in this thing, and it's wild. Listen to this set of characters we have here. We have Rick Flag returning, Harley Quinn returning, Captain Boomerang returning, and Amanda Waller returning, and that's it. Then we get Polka Dot Man, King Shark, someone named Solsoria, I don't know who that is, TDK, Nathan Fillion, Flula Borg as Javelin. I don't know who that is. Thinker, Savant, the Black Guard, Peacemaker. John Cena's playing Peacemaker, who they described as a douchey Captain America, which sounds awesome. Yeah. Mongol, Ratcatcher. Idris Elba is doing this guy named Bloodsport. And of course, I cannot leave out Weasel. We are getting a character named Weasel who I've never heard of. I have no idea, but he's the weirdest looking thing, and it kind of just stole the entire panel for me yesterday. I am super excited about this. We got the behind the scenes footage as well, and it looks like they all just had a really, really good time. All of the costumes look crazy out there. Harley's in particular, I really love that they brought the red and black suit back. Forrest, I'm going to pass it off to you. I think this movie looks absolutely bonkers, but I am 100% here for it. What did you think about everything we saw from the Suicide Squad?
There is so much to unpack with this.
Oh my god, yeah.
First off, the casting. There's characters or actors in here that I'm like Flula Borg. I'm like, the guy's funny, but I wouldn't think he's prime DC movie material. We'll see how it works out. I'm sure it's going to be funny. I thought Idris Elba. I thought the rumor was he was going to be playing Deadshot. Not at all. Completely different characters. So that's cool. King Shark, I think they're just kind of trying to make up for what they did with Killer Croc, because Killer Croc was like a joke.
Yeah, he was.
In my opinion, I didn't like him a lot. I am loving the fact that Jai Courtney is back at Captain Boomerang, because he carried that movie for me. I love Captain Boomerang. Yeah. He's just the rude, arrogant, disgusting Australian dude. He reminds me of Kano from Mortal Kombat a lot, and I just that kind of character is great. Nathan Fillion, weird choice. TDK, I was reading somewhere, I guess it's based off of fan fiction characters or fan characters, Arm Beat Boy. You can see the logo, his arms are severed. I think he takes his arms off and beats people with them, which it's like,
oh my god.
There are so many characters, and if anyone can do it, it's James Gunn. I almost feel like there's too many characters in this movie to do something with, but I'm hoping it's not a Deadpool 2 scenario where look, they're going out there and 8 of them died just instantly right there. So
yeah, well, I hate to break it to you, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen, because I agree. While this looks awesome and this cast is insane and out there and all these characters are super bizarre, I do think there's a lot to make a really solid movie out of. But James Gunn earlier today said, DC Fandome is over, but the Suicide Squad lives on, at least until a good amount of them get massacred in August 2021. So I think you're right. I think a lot of them are going to die off at various points in the movie. So I think it's just going to be a fun time.
I hope it's not Polka Dot Man. I was reading a little bit about him, what he does, his dots, he pulls them off and they turn into gadgets. But David Dastmalchian, who was in Ant-Man.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name.
That guy was amazing. Mm-hmm. He was so funny in Ant-Man. So I hope he brings his humor and kind of quirkiness to this, and then probably dies 8 seconds in. So we'll see. But King Shark, he looks he's just kind of waves. He looks like a cute, cuddly, sweet guy. But he's are they going to go with that? Or are they going to go with vicious King Shark? I don't know. The Weasel, man, that's terrifying. What is that?
I don't know, but I think it's going to be my favorite character.
Popped up on the screen. I was like, oh. Okay, his eyes are bugging out, but all right. And of course, Michael Rooker has to be in this movie. There's characters, the actors. It's so much to take in, but I'm all for it. I'm ready to watch this.
Yeah, me too, man. I am so stoked. I want to say one thing about King Shark, because when I watched it earlier today, I watched that stuff again. And when it cuts to his little character art and he waves, it very much reminded me of the way Baymax waves, and from Big Hero 6. And then in the behind the scenes footage, you see that Baymax looking big King Shark guy pick up a guy and just eat him. I was like, oh god, I missed that the first time.
Very different, yeah.
I think it's going to be a ton of fun. What did you guys think about everything we saw from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? Let us know in the comments below. Now, the next one we're moving on to is one that I'm very, very curious to hear what you have to think for us, because we talked about Black Adam last week, and Ian and I were both pretty excited about it. You were kind of like, you're just not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not your thing. That's totally cool, but he's obviously the center of this movie. So we didn't get a lot from this. Obviously, it hasn't started filming or anything like that, so I wasn't really sure what we were going to get. But what we did see is pretty promising to me. What we got was sort of an animated teaser using concept art, and I think the concept art was from Boss Logic, which is really cool to see him getting like that much attention where he's doing these official concept teaser trailers for DC. That's really cool for him. But basically, the story is this. Black Adam looks like on Kahndaq, he was sort of like a slave type. He was in chains. He was getting beaten. And that was 5,000 years ago. In that era, 5,000 years ago, needed a hero. So the wizard Shazam bestowed Black Adam with his powers, thinking, okay, he's going to be the hero. But Black Adam, seeing the worst of humanity or whatever race it was, humanity, 5,000 years ago, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll be your hero, but I'm doing it my way, and it's violent. I will kick anyone's ass who stands in my way because I'm going to serve justice however I see it. And they imprisoned him for it for 5,000 years. He's out, and he says, I give you my word, nothing will stand in my way again. And I was like, this is badass. Like, he's going to be a hero, but it's more of an anti-hero. And I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson really nailed like the voiceover dialogue there, so that's pretty exciting for me. The suit, I think, looks really, really kick-ass. And we got word that the Justice Society of America are going to be the antagonists in this movie. Those are all heroes. So it's interesting because it's like we're going to have Black Adam as a hero, but is the villain. He's an anti-hero. And we're seeing him go up against Dr. Fate, someone named Cyclone, who I don't know, Hawkman, and Atom Smasher. This all has me really excited. Forrest, what did you think of everything we saw from Black Adam?
Yeah, so that little like comic booky trailer kind of thing, it looked great, and the story sounds like it's all set up. I'm just wondering, do those people live 5,000 years? That's kind of crazy that he's just this ancient being that's like, I've had these powers and I'm mad and nobody's going to stop me. It looks good. I'll have to watch Shazam to kind of understand the background of, the wizard and bestowing the powers and everything. But from what I saw, his voiceover was great. The suit looked really good. Not a huge Dwayne The Rock Johnson fan, but I will hold that back and watch this movie at some point. And hearing that there's going to be other characters like Dr. Fate, super cool. I love how Dr. Fate looks. Again, don't know much about him. More Marvel than DC, but it looks good. And then Hawkman is cool, but I like Hot Girl better from the old Justice League TV show.
I think we all do.
Bring her back in. So, I'll definitely give it a shot, and I'm excited to see more about, eventually when they start making an actual trailer for it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And just, we got the casting announcement of The Rock playing Black Adam, I think it was like 5 years ago. And to see it's not actually him in the suit, but to see the proof of concept of the way he fills that out, and he's just like screaming and there's lightning and just, he looks powerful. And I'm excited to see him go toe-to-toe with some heavy-hitting heroes like the Justice Society of America. What did you guys think of Black Adam? What do you think of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the role? Let me know all of that in the comments below. Now we're going to move on to another one that really, really, really surprised me. Zack Snyder's The Justice League. Now, we're gonna set this one up a little bit here by saying, and you've heard me talk about this on the show before, but Justice League is not a movie I loved. It wasn't a movie I hated. It was just a movie I kind of felt indifferent about. It was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was, right? Nothing too special, nothing horrible. But I thought Man of Steel was kind of on the same level as Justice League, but I hate Batman vs. Superman. Like, as an overall film, there is so much I don't like about that movie. So everyone was talking about, I need the Snyder Cut. I need the Snyder Cut for the last 3 years. And I was like, whatever. I don't care. I don't need a Snyder Cut. Why is everyone talking about it? Just let it go. All of a sudden, a couple months ago, we get the announcement. It's here in front of us. We got our first trailer for it yesterday. And I was blown away. it looks like a completely different movie. And it could be the trailer editing and the music and everything, but it literally looks like a completely different movie than the one I watched. And that was crazy to me. It has so much more emotional weight. I believe that they would be a team, even just the way they're talking with each other, standing together, going around and just moving. They look like a team. They look like they care about each other. And a lot of that just felt like it was lacking from the theatrical release cut of the Justice League. So I was totally blown away by it. It is the best Justice League trailer I've ever seen. Everybody loved the old Justice League trailers. I never really dug them at all. We've got, Darkseid in this, which is really, really cool. I don't know how big of a role he's going to be playing, but Steppenwolf has an entirely different suit that looks way, way, way better than the one we got in the movie. So there's just so much crazy stuff happening, and I'm in. And on top of that, I saw today that IGN reported this. There's a chance that this movie is going to be 4 hours long. And that is a huge difference. That's like an hour and a half, I think, difference from the theatrical cut. So I am totally surprised by all of this. I am 100% in. Forrest, I don't believe did you ever watch the Justice League?
No.
Okay. So I am curious to see what your opinion is on this trailer, having not ever seen the original.
Yeah, I wish I had seen it to compare it, because I have no idea. For all I know, that was all footage that had been shown before. So I know people weren't happy with it, and that's kind of why I didn't go see it, because I wasn't like, oh, great, Justice League. Like, everybody, I guess Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman got a movie, and then they're just like, oh yeah, Flash and Cyborg are in there too. We're just throwing them in there. So yeah. Have they filmed a lot of new stuff for it? Is that what they're looking to do, or is it all footage?
They're not filming a single frame. It's all footage that he had shot. Like, he had his cut of the movie, it just wasn't done in post, which is a lot of it, obviously, with the comic book movie.
Gotcha. So, and I'm going to guess a lot of like the CG stuff is kind of a Sonic situation where they can just go back and change it.
Well, yeah, I'd imagine they're after the backlash they got on some of that, I bet you they're it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, that trailer looked good. It looked like, gritty and real, like real deep for the characters. I like the whole he's never fought us united.
Yeah.
Well, yes, he has. So okay, well, he's never fought us twice. But no, it looks really good. Yeah, it looks crazy good. But 4 hours of a movie, make movies that long all the time, please. I will sit in a movie theater or at home, hopefully a movie theater, for that. I will definitely go do that. Give me all that content. If you need that time to tell a story and tell it well, go for it. I can dig it.
Yep, and I agree. I think that's fine. I'm not one. I used to find myself getting into this, but I'd be like, make it as long as possible. I want to sit there and get it all. But I think make it cut as much as you need. 1 hour could be the perfect runtime for a movie. Then you get Endgame that's right at 3 hours, and I think that's the perfect time for that movie.
Really good.
Justice League felt rushed, and if Zack Snyder had an hour and a half longer movie, I understand now why it felt rushed. And so if 4 hours is the correct length for this, that's awesome. I'm hoping he's not saying this is my shot to show everything I had filmed and putting it all in there and finding a way, because I don't want it to feel like it's drawn out either. I'm hoping that's just the right perfect time, and that's why they're going to do it that way. But who knows? We'll see. But I was totally blown away by it. We're going to have to find a way to get you to watch Justice League before this comes out. You got a year so you can compare it, because in what you said, it could all be stuff that people have already seen. Every single shot in that trailer was not in Justice League.
That's
so that
crazy.
Was all new.
He's got footage just in his backseat of his car, apparently. Yeah.
I could not believe what I saw yesterday. I've got chills again just thinking about it. Damn it. Crazy.
I feel like the studio must have just been like, no, we're doing it this way. And he's just like, all right, well, I'm not happy about this. But now he gets a chance. So cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm blown away by it. What do you guys think about everything we saw yesterday from Zack Snyder's Justice League? Were you somebody who was hoping for the Snyder Cut for all these years? Were you someone like me who just didn't care at all? Let me know in the comments below. And we are moving on to our final film from DC Fandome. And this was the crown jewel, if you will, of the event for me, as far as film is concerned anyway. We got ourselves a trailer for Matt Reeves' The Batman. Holy hell, you guys. You've all seen this trailer by now. I'm sure you have. It broke the internet more than I think any of the other ones did. I've seen this everywhere on every social platform, and it looks incredible. I didn't know what to expect from this movie, but it definitely was not that. I was not expecting that much of a kick-ass, dark, gritty take, really real-looking, real-world take on Batman. I just wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be more of a, a comic booky feeling movie, and it's just not. The combat, like I mentioned in my reaction video, it is heavy hitting, real. Like, I felt those punches. You can hear it. It's like these wet crunches, and it's like, oh my God, man. Like, it was wild. I think Robert Pattinson, there was a lot of frustration when he was cast. I was like, whatever, I'm down. All I've ever seen him in Twilight is Twilight, but I've heard he's an amazing actor, so fine. He can beef up. But all doubts are out the window. I think he looks fantastic. I think the suit looks really, really cool. It's a year 2 Batman story, so he's only been, he's in his second year as Batman. It's not super crazy. His boots that we see it for the first time, I thought they were just some guy's boots. But no, they're just Batman wearing boots. Yeah. Because he just put the suit together, and it's so cool to see. We did get to see Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, which really, really excited me. And again, that's not what I expected the suit to look like, but I really, really dig it for the context and the feeling and the vibe of this movie. She's just got like a ski mask that's cut out. Very, very interesting. And then, of course, we would be remiss to not talk about Paul Dano's Riddler. Wow. Again, I don't know what I was expecting from Riddler, but it was not a crazy serial killer with a point. And I think he is going to be this is very early. Obviously, this is very early. But from what I've seen, I think he's going to be one of the most memorable DC, at the very least DC, if not comic book movie villains for me, because I've always liked when the Riddler was a little bit more twisted. I've been wanting them to do a Riddler. I was hoping they were going to do Riddler in the Dark Knight series, and so I've been wanting to see a Riddler and to see the way they're taking it. And, he's got these little creepy envelopes that just say "To the Batman" and this chicken scratch. He's got the guy with the bomb with the "To the Batman" thing, and it's like all this talk about lies. I was absolutely blown away by this whole trailer. I wasn't expecting to see it. I loved it. Forrest, what did you think of The Batman?
I've been wanting to talk about this. Yeah, I was one of those people who was like, Robert Pattinson, really? And then, the whole thing came out, and he's like, well, I don't really want to work out for it. I don't care. And you're like, oh, great. So we're going to get, skinny fat Batman who doesn't, But then he shows up, got the combat boots, which, love it, looks good. I have a pair myself because they're cool boots. And then the suit is so good. I can't believe how good it looks. It's like a mix of the armored kryptonite suit from BVS, but mixed with all the other Batmans, I guess. It's so good, and just when he's beating on that dude, and he's just like, I'm vengeance, and you're like, oh, year 2 Batman. It's crazy. He's new to this, so he's still trying to figure it out. And I don't think we've seen a Riddler in the movies since Jim Carrey. So he's always kind of been goofy in the movies, but the Arkham, yeah, exactly. The Arkham games where the Riddler's this crazy dude. I was talking to Ian last night about it. He was like, I don't know about the Riddler. I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense that this man who lives on making riddles and clearly just killing people nonchalantly, testing the world's greatest detective is the perfect recipe. And
Yeah.
I am so in for this. And I love that when he takes the cowl off, he still has like the smudged black makeup, whereas every other one takes it off and it's like, oh, it's Christian Bale, he's perfect. Or it's George Clooney and he looks good. But he's got the smudgy, he almost looks like the Crow. And it's like,
yeah, he does.
Oh, I need this movie. And Aaron made a joke that at the end when it said like the year it was being released, $1. She's like, great, we're not seeing it for till 4041.
Oh, wouldn't that be a nightmare?
It's crazy.
Oh,
but yeah,
God.
but Catwoman, I think it's a cool way to see Selena Kyle. Commissioner Gordon, I'm sad that it's not Gary Oldman, because I love Gary Oldman as a person and as an actor and as Commissioner Gordon. See him not reprising the role, but I don't know who this new actor is, but I'm all in for this movie.
Yeah, I think all in all, it looks crazy good, and it took my excitement from pretty excited to like way through the roof. I need more now. So I am super stoked about the Batman. Everything about it. I think the Riddler looks great. I think R-Path looks great. We're getting the Penguin in this movie too. Colin Farrell's the Penguin. We know that casting has already happened. And the thugs that he says are vengeance and beats the living hell out of that guy. To me, those look like Joker thugs. And I do not want this. Here's everything. This movie reminded me of how Joker was handled. The 2019 Joaquin Phoenix Joker. It really did. I love, though, that movie stands completely on its own. I do not want these to cross over. But those look like Joker thugs.
Yes.
And if they're not Joker thugs, I don't know what they are. And I don't know why they did them that way. But they look like Joker thugs, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I forgot to touch on that, too. But yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to like tease that, tie that in slightly, not maybe for this movie, but for like, I don't know, we'll do more. Because that Joaquin Phoenix movie was based when you saw the afterwards when he was the little boy and saw his parents killed. So this is early enough in his career that he could be dealing with there's this weird, crazy mastermind behind some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I like that it could be a standalone, but every comic book movie nerd always hopes like it's connected. Let's do this. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. They might be leaving their options open, and they've said. I don't think you were on the show when we talked about this, but they are trying to make a sort of Batman universe. That this is not connected to the DCU. This is a Batman universe. They're doing a Gotham PD TV series on HBO Max. That's going to be a prequel, so it's going to be when he's Batman year one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really interesting, and maybe they are just kind of laying the groundwork to put a Joker of some kind in. Blown away. Absolutely blown away. It was a hell of a way to wrap up the DC Fandome whole event. What did you think about the event? Well, first of all, what did you guys think of Batman? Let us know all about like your thoughts. Do you like Robert Pattinson? Are you excited about the Riddler? What do you think of Zoe Kravitz's costume? Let us know all of that in the comments below. Now let's just talk about DC Fandome overall for a second, because like I said off the top, I wasn't expecting to enjoy myself this much. I was really shocked with how much great stuff they brought. What did you like? Did you expect it to be this good for us?
No, so I wasn't like watching the panels or anything. I was just like, at the end of the night, I was like, oh, let me check to see kind of what's been released, what trailers, what images. Yeah. There was a boatload of stuff. So they did what they could with this virtual thing. I think they wanted to, I don't know if they wanted to like release stuff over the year, or they found the opportunity to like, let's make our own like mini virtual convention. But it worked really well. And it was like kind of one of those things like you're in between news from like Marvel and like, if you like video games, like we haven't had a lot like all at once, like, Sony and Xbox had their stuff. You're just kind of like, here we are sitting in August, not a lot, and they're like, well, let's just release a bunch of DC news. So definitely a diamond in the rough. Didn't expect it, but I loved pretty much everything they released. All the information, all the images and trailers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I haven't been this excited about DC in a long time.
Ever.
And you know, I should say there were a couple other little minor things. You know, we're getting Aquaman 2. Shocker. Ocean Master is coming back for Aquaman 2. Cool. With Shazam 2 is titled Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. Cool. But I didn't want to put them in here because that's literally it. There's not a lot to talk about there. But, you know, overall, they had some really, really heavy-hitting stuff. Giving us all that Suicide Squad content was awesome. The Wonder Woman 84 trailer is actually to be expected. I fully expected that one. But it was good nonetheless. Getting a Black Adam, even just an animated concept teaser with The Rock voicing it over, I think was a really, really cool way to do that. And Justice League, you know, it's showing us footage, even though it's not coming out till next year. Really, really cool. And of course, the biggest surprise was the Batman. They've only got 25% of the film shot, and to give us a whole trailer like that really, really surprised me. So I thought DC Fandome overall was a huge success, and I'd be willing to put money on it. I'll bet you $1 for us.
Yeah.
$1 whole dollar.
$1
that they do this again next year.
Oh yeah. You'd probably win that bet. I don't know if they'd have the amount of content, or maybe they do. Maybe they have stuff like, well, we got it in the pipeline. But yeah, if this is an annual thing that they do, even for just like animated stuff, like animated movies, TV shows, whatever, more please. I will take it.
Yeah, man, I was absolutely loving all of yesterday. Super excited about DC. The internet's really excited about DC. The entire fan base is just like unified and excited right now, and I think that's such a cool thing, especially to be able to do it online when none of us are getting together. And I still feel a little bit of that just overall group mentality, fandom excitement, and I think that's really, really cool, and I'm glad they pulled it off. I loved it. What did you guys think about DC Fandome overall? Did you have a favorite panel? Did you watch all of the panels? There was a couple of other little minor ones in there, but what did you think about all the news? Let us know all of that in the comments below. And we haven't even talked about the games yet, but we're going to on Gaming Rewind, because DC Fandome was awesome. Anyway, let us know what you thought about all of it in the comments below. Forrest, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you for letting me rant about nerdy Batman stuff and Suicide Squad stuff for a while.
Always a blast. What a weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to be the first to know when we upload a new video. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PressToPlayOK. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.